Somewhere beyond the reach of sound, on the hushed, windswept horizon of Polokwane, a shadow begins to take shape. It isn't just a house. It's a presence, a reckoning, a calling born from the silence. Beneath the soil, the land remembers. Secrets long buried are stirred by steel and stone. Above, form begins to rise, not swiftly, but with force. Measured, intentional, inevitable. This is the homestead. A minimalist's modern farmhouse, wrapped in quiet ambition, etched with struggle, and built under a sky that watched it all unfold. Welcome to the homestead, where every line drawn hides a battle, and every brick laid whispers a truth. Nothing beats the excitement of a new project, marked by the smell of dust and pollen in the air. The journey began with setting out the bones of the structure. Using pegs and building lines, we traced the architect's vision onto the bare soil. The practice of setting out dates back thousands of years, used in ancient Egyptian temples and Roman villas. With the land uneven and unyielding, accuracy prevailed. One small mistake at this stage can cascade into major structural problems, so accuracy was paramount. Next came trench excavation, with the strip footings and columns. We began with the roaring TLB tearing into the earth. Trenching has long been a foundational phase of architecture, from the Indus Valley to the Renaissance Europe. Geotechnical investigations determined that reinforced strip footing would be adequate for the home foundations. Digging 700 mm deep and 600 mm wide, the rocky soil and hard clay made digging difficult, but we managed in the end. Steel, the unseen skeleton. Introduced into mainstream construction in the late 19th century, reinforcement has revolutionized how we build. This technique ensures concrete can handle tension and compression. Misaligned or poor tied rebar would risk structural integrity, so each bar was checked repeatedly. The strip footing reinforcements are tied together and carefully placed inside the clean and compacted trenches. The starter bars for the columns are also installed at this point, ready to be spliced in future. Timing was everything. Darkness was fast approaching as concrete trucks lined up. When concrete needs to go far, fast and high, we call in the pump truck. Concrete is poured into the hopper, Inside, 2 hydraulic pistons turn. One draws the mix in, the other pushes it out. It's a push and pull rhythm, forcing concrete through the pipeline, all the way to the pour point. With a pump truck, concrete gets placed exactly where it's needed. No wheelbarrows, no delays, no mess. Once the concrete is poured to the correct height, demarcated by our building lines, we manually flatten the top, ready-made for the brickwork to follow. Once footing secured, the foundation walls rose brick by brick. Walls were level and aligned using spirit levels and plumb lines to maintain accuracy.
If I wrote this song, if I got every word perfectly weighted.
Backfilling around the foundation was slow and careful. Improper compaction can lead to settlement cracks later. This practice, rooted in modern soil engineering, meant layering and compacting soils tightly in place. Water is added as we compact to achieve the required compaction density.
Is it maybe because I never knew quite where I was, then suddenly you told me,
A maze of pipes went in beneath the future floor. Electrical and plumbing has evolved since the aqueducts of Rome. Wrong placement could mean breaking concrete at a later stage. We sealed the ground with waterproof membranes, a technology dating back to the early bitumen-based techniques. Reinforcement mesh is laid above like armor, not only to reduce shrinkage, but to strengthen it as well. The pour began, concrete flying, floats swirling, boots stamped in rhythm. The result? A smooth, strong foundation.
but I go without knowing. If I told you that I don't know what to believe in, don't know how to pray, but I pray anyway. Tell me you're the one for me now, 'cause what am I supposed to do? If you are not the one for me, then tell me now what I could do. Tell me you're the one for me now. I pray that you
The walls started rising, layer by layer, with strings tight and trowels sharp. The skeleton of the project took shape. We are currently building the second round of bricks, with the first round dry and solid. Polokwane is a historically dry area with moderately warm temperatures throughout the year. Instead of having a cavity for insulation or moisture, we used a double-leaf brick wall with no cavity, also called a solid wall.
tell me you're the one for me now, 'cause what am I supposed to do? If you are not the one for me, then tell me now what I could do. Tell me you're the one for me now. I pray that you believe it too. That you're the only one for me, and I'm the only one for you.
Once complete, a third round will be built to the wall plate. Before concrete is poured, there's a silent structure that does all the heavy lifting. This is the formwork. Whether it's a single-story home or a double-story build, a well-designed scaffolding system ensures strength, precision, and safety on site. It's the hidden framework behind every slab we trust. Steel reinforcement bars were bent and tied into a grid pattern, much like those in the 19th century skyscrapers. Hidden beams were also tied within the slab, along with electrical plumbing services. Every intersection was inspected for proper overlap and spacing. Yet again, our trusty old friend, concrete. The slab pour had to be continuous to avoid cold joints, a technique refined by builders worldwide. The concrete was vibrated and leveled carefully. At Mokonyane Property Group, we don't just build houses. We craft homes with purpose and precision. Based in Polokwane, working across Limpopo and Gauteng, our team brings expert craftsmanship, modern design, and unmatched attention to detail to every residential project. From solid foundations to elegant finishes, we build for generations. To contact us, see the details in the description below. Let us build your dream home.
Got a son. You every dad is feeling like this. Oh, I want them to follow my footsteps, whatever. But I tell him one time. I said.
Above the deck, the walls rose again. Walls on the first floor followed with similar care, ensuring alignment and verticality using plumb lines. It is at this point that the sheer scale of the building starts to show itself. We first roll out a damp-proof course to prevent the moisture that might show itself from below from seeping into the walls on the upper floor. We then follow with brickwork, with ladder reinforcement between the first 4 lines and every 3 lines thereafter, up until the lintel level. The staircase formwork was a relatively simple steel structure. However, one mistake could compromise the entire flight. Mesh wire is used to close off the angle iron frame, anchored into the load-bearing walls. The front entrance slab is lower than the rest of the roof, meaning it had to be poured before the final roof slab. The formwork was built out concurrently with the rest of the brickwork. Reinforcement is tied within the staircase frame and lower slab, along with shutter boards at the base to carry the concrete. The concrete pour for the stairs demanded precision to avoid air pockets and weak points. The finished treads were solid and smooth, ready to carry daily use. The final rows of brick marked a milestone. They were built above the lower slab that had just been cast. They would provide the base for the rest of the roof slab above it. Forming the roof slab involved working at heights and managing wind. It's built the same way the scaffolding for the first floor slab was built. The difference, however, is that certain sections, namely the overhangs on the perimeter, had to be supported all the way from the ground, meaning we had to have a substantive amount of scaffolding erected. Steel was laid to fortify the slab, carefully planned to carry weight and resist weather. A concrete pump groaned skyward, the final structural pour, the crown of the house. Walls began receiving their first smooth coats of plaster, a finishing art practiced since ancient lime mixes. Timber trusses took flight. From medieval cathedrals to suburban homes, they've carried roofs through time. Once treated with carbolinium for pest and weather resistance, they are lifted into place. Insulation is layered beneath, forming a barrier between home and sky. Plasterwork continues to the exterior of the home, providing the first layer of protection for the brickwork. At this point, we draw close for the festive season, ready to return in the new year. Okay, let's talk about the design process and the decisions that were made when it came to the selection of the colors and the materials for the walls, for the tiles, for the kitchens and the cupboards. And with anything else, most of the houses that we do, we start with one of two things. We have a wall color that we choose and we build around, or we have a floor tile that we choose and we build around. In this case, we had a theme of modern, minimalism, and the wall color was chosen first, and that was this color here. This is called designer gray. So this was the main color that's going to be used for all the walls throughout the entire home. So this is going to act as our base, and any decision that's going to be made from here on is going to be made with this color in mind. Alright, the next thing that has to be chosen based on this color is going to be the flooring. Now, the tile that we chose was a gray color to go with the designer gray, but now it's more of a pure gray. And then the designer gray, I don't know if you can tell on camera, it's a lot warmer. It's not a pure gray, it has a very warm tone to it. So when you're looking at it from afar, you could think that it's like a cream or khaki, but it is gray. So that was our first pairing when it came to our selections. Now, most of this house has wood flooring, and we decided to go with vinyl wood flooring. It's a large family home, so they wanted something that was friendly in terms of being able to clean it and for it to last long. So we decided to go with the vinyl flooring instead of the hardwood or the laminate flooring, and we went for a color called Perth. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is the color of the flooring that we chose. Okay, when you put it here with the tile and the color, you start to see it come together. So that is our flooring pairing with this color, tying it together. And then you can now start seeing the theme. We have a look that's being built in, very neutral, very, very subtle, nothing strong, muted. And then this is gonna provide us with a good base for any other decisions that we make going forward. So from this point, the next selection was the kitchen. We went for a primary color called Congo. We've used this before, but the difference between this one and the previous one that we've used is that this is a high gloss. So it has a very shiny finish, very reflective. And then this is going to be our main color in the kitchen. As you can see, it still blends well with the flooring, with the color. They all communicate, but it's going to be a two-tone kitchen. And what we did is that we paired it with a darker color to give it a contrasty pop. So this is called Kalapana. It's also a gloss color. So now we've got two gloss finishes in the kitchen. Main color, secondary color. We'll probably put this on the island and floating shelves. And then this will be everywhere else. And then this is our combination for the finishes of the main spaces. Now, I like to add a third color for accent. I'm yet to decide where I want to put it. In the last house we did, we put it in an extractor fan, and we're going for the same thing because it blends so well with these two. It's called an anchor point. Here it is. And so this is going to be a feature color, an accent color, and we're likely going to put this on the extractor fan, maybe somewhere else as well. So now we're building out our look, and if you can see, all these colors are still harmonizing. No one color is saying no to another color. From here, the next space that we had to choose was the study and the bedrooms, specifically the kids' bedrooms and guest bedrooms. They wanted to keep in the theme of gray. This is another shade of gray that we chose that's also going to be used. This is going to be used in the auxiliary spaces, the study and the kids' bedrooms. That is the next color. And then the last color is going to be in the main space. The star of the show is normally the dressing room, outside of the kitchen, of course. And then they went for a more natural finish This is a monument oak finish. This also pairs well with everything that we chose over here. So this is the final look of the home that we've selected. These are all the decisions that go into giving the look and the feel of the home. It's very neutral, but what I like about it is that it's very subtle, it's not too strong. It's going to give us a timeless look, so that 5 years from now, when you look at the finishes that we've chosen, you know, they're still pleasing and they're not very trendy. Because these decisions have been made, now it allows us to now choose what are we going to use for lights and handles, and we went with black. So most handles and lights are going to be black, and in selected spaces we'll use a gold or a brass to give it, you know, that luxury, that elegance. It's likely going to be used in the bathroom, the primary bathroom and the primary bedroom. A handle is a handshake to the room, and I think that's very important because your handle that you choose is going to be your first point of contact into any room that you move into. And with that said, I'd like to give a big thanks to our video sponsor, Yale Home South Africa. We've used their handles across all our projects, and their handles are high quality, and we love the style of the catalog that they have. So please use my code YALEBMStudio15 for 15% off your total order. Whether you're building your new home or you want to refurbish what you have already, they've got a large variety of items that you could choose, and please give them a look. All their details are going to be in the description below, and again, use my code YALEBMStudio15 for 15% off your total order. So the decisions that we've made here have provided us with the base to now move forward and install the finishes. Please stay tuned to see more. We return to see that most of the windows and roof tiles have been installed. Paint primer has also been applied to the exterior of the home. Ceilings are more than just overhead surfaces. Historically, decorative ceilings symbolized wealth and craftsmanship. Our minimalist ceilings focus on clean lines with concealed electrical conduits for a sleek finish. We begin with the timber framework, followed by the services.
Because I dreamt you a chapter that I turned too good to be true.
Electrical housing and wiring installation is a delicate dance of safety and planning. Early mistakes, such as misrouting conduits, require partial ceiling removal and rework.
You made me complete, baby. I've searched high and low.
Runner board ceilings are fixed onto the frame, concealing the surfaces running inside the ceiling. Plastering the ceiling and walls is ancient craft dating back to Egyptian times, providing smooth surfaces ready for a paint or wallpaper. Boundary walls are both practical and symbolic, historically marking ownership and privacy. Screening walls provide privacy while complementing the minimalist design. Priming interior surfaces is a vital step to protect plaster and improve paint adhesion. It also helps to reveal any imperfections before final coats.
I needed you. I hope you can see. You made me complete.
Cornices have evolved from the ornate classical forms of Greek and Roman architecture to simple, modern trims that subtly frame rooms. Our installation required precision to maintain the minimalist aesthetic without distracting from clean wall planes. Our journey continues in the backyard. The basketball court began with excavating and forming a flat, compact base. Foundation walls on the perimeter are built and plastered. followed by filling and compacting crushed sand for a flat, solid base.
I'ma stay with you, stay with you, I'ma stay with you, I'll never leave you alone.
Excavation for the pool brought unforeseen challenges, unstable grounds. We built up the sides with bags filled with local soil. We reinforced the shell with high tensile mesh, then plastered it to complete the shell. Cut directly into the landscape, the fire pit forms the social heart of the garden. A foundation was built, followed by the seating and the fire pit. This was the final piece to a simple yet comprehensive garden. Vital but invisible, the sewer system runs parallel to the house and landscape. Based on the modern science standards, we laid out the gradient meticulously, just 1 to 2% to ensure gravity flow without stagnation. We put together an assortment of paints that blends well with the interior selections. Ultimately, we went for 3 colors contrasting each other, but harmonizing still.
I'm in the spotlight, night on to midnight. I want somebody to hold my hand, 'cause I got my head in the clouds, but I'm getting...
Multiple coats were applied for uniform coverage, with careful drying times to prevent streaking or bubbles.
If I'm not there, 'cause I got my head in the clouds, but I'm getting really scared of life. I try to get everyone to see me.
Floor tiles were laid with a 2mm spacing and grout. We used large format porcelain and natural textures.
I'm sitting here in this empty room, walls keep tumbling down, down. 'Cause I ain't got nobody, so lonely when the day is through. I'm in the spotlight.
We also used tiles for skirting in utility areas, with an aluminium strip used for the edges.
I got my head in the clouds, but I'm getting really scared of high. I used to spend time with all my friends, but who's gonna like me if I'm not there? 'Cause I got my head in the clouds, but...
Final aluminium fittings closed the envelope. Folding glass doors and full height sliders gave uninterrupted views. Aluminium framing, popularized in the post-war boom, offers strength without visual bulk. Every door is aligned to laser levels. Even a 2mm skew would echo throughout the room. Proper drainage is essential to protect foundations and landscaping. Site leveling required equipment to create subtle slopes, directing water away from the house.
I used to spend time with all my friends, but who's gonna like me if I'm not there? 'Cause I got my head in the clouds, but I'm getting really scared of heights.
So today we are going to go through a site visit. The house is making a lot of progress. We've got quite a tight deadline, so we are rushing to get everything done. The first coat of paint is in. The garage doors are in. This is the single. They're both aluminum garage doors. They've got a double on the other side. The pavers are busy with the levels at the moment. They are preparing the ground for the pavers that are to come. So we are busy doing the levels of the ground so that the water can go away from the home and from the walls and out. And after that, we need to compact the soil so that there isn't any settling. We stabilize the driveway areas with cement so that it's tough for the cars to drive on top of. And now we are in the backyard. We've got a very large pool. It's deep on one end, shallow on the other, with the staircase that's bringing it in. And then we've got the water fountain. We're going for a large 2-spot water fountain. It's going to give you that ambience that you only get with water. The sound of water is very calming, so we want this backyard to be a real oasis. And then in front of me is the bomber or fire pit, depending what part of the world you're at. We're gonna have seating with the fire pit in the center, and then we're gonna have lighting integrated within the stairs to give the space illumination. And then on the other side where we come from, they're going to have a basketball court. So they're a very active family, which is great. And then coming from the back, this is our patio, our enclosed patio. This is gonna be our braai area, as well as the bar area. This is the kitchen. So the kitchen over here is going to open up into the living room area. What's next is going to be the carpentry. We're busy with the manufacturing of the kitchen and built-in cupboards. The designs are going to be very unique. Like I said, this house is simple, but it's very elegant and it's still going to make a statement. Yeah. This is our view of the double volume area from the top. We're going to have glass balustrading that's going to be coming through here as well. There is our staircase over there that we came up through, and then this is our entryway with views to the front of the home. So yeah, we've got views from the front going all the way through the house to the back, through those large windows and into the backyard. This is also a place where we've got the main bedroom, the kids' bedrooms, and the linen room. And then in front of me, there's a double door that's going to open into the pyjama lounge. I think from here you can see the view that they have from here. This is one of the balconies of the home. And across from me is the other balcony that's going to the main bedroom. So we've got these two large balconies that are front-facing. Stay tuned so that you can see the rest of the progress of this home.
Bathrooms and kitchens received porcelain finishes. A bitumen-based waterproof paint was painted behind the showers. A feature piece. The floating staircase began as a steel skeleton. Anchored into the concrete with hidden fixtures, it gave the illusion of weightlessness. The concrete pouring required floating and curing to achieve a smooth surface. Okay, so when we start designing the different spaces, we're primarily going to focus on the design of the kitchen. The first thing that we need to look at is the floor plan layout. And this is our current floor plan layout. As you can see, we've got our wall here that has the stove and oven. We have a window and a door opening up to the patio, a small island, and we've got units this side with the door opening into the scullery. Now the first thing that we're actually going to do is that we're going to remove this unit over here. And when we remove this unit over here, we're also going to remove this window, and we're also going to remove this door. The reason being is that now we're going to replace all of that, and we're going to make this a folding door, and then you've opened up that space and we've increased the size of our kitchen. And what that means is that we can take this island over here, and then we can extend the island and make it big and more usable. I feel like this island is a bit too small. It doesn't really serve a purpose at this size. So we want the island to be bigger so that we can fit at least 4 chairs underneath. And then this is a little bit more usable. What I also don't like is that there are 2 doors in the same space. So we're gonna keep this door to the garage, of course. We're gonna use a false door over here, right? And when you're looking at it, when it's closed, it's going to be one flat space where it's all units, but these doors can then open, and then you can go into your scullery, and this is where you can hide basically all the dishes and everything else, but then we still keep our clean look within the kitchen. And yeah, this is the look of the kitchen. I think we're gonna go for a herringbone backsplash over here in those spaces over there, and we'll ultimately use a black tap and a black undermount prep bar. Yeah, so this is the kitchen in its totality, and I think it turned out pretty well. Threaded rod anchors are epoxied into the staircase walls. It required precision drilling and structural maps to avoid damaging rebar. These anchors would hold glass panes. The timber had to be pre-sorted for tone, grain, and finish. We labeled, planned, and pre-assembled. Bedroom cupboards followed ergonomic rules. All built-in units were installed plumb and flush, with screws concealed. Next, we assemble the base cabinets, also called the carcasses. These are lined against the wall, adjusted for level, and fixed in place securely. The entire base must be rock solid. This is going to support your countertop. Wall units are installed above the baseline. They are mounted with heavy-duty brackets and checked for alignment. Now we fit the doors, drawers and hardware. Hinges, runners and soft close systems are adjusted to perfection. We are now at a point where we need to install the vinyl flooring. We apply a self-leveling screed to get a smooth level finish. Once adhesive has been applied to the prime floor, engineered vinyl is clicked together. Waterproof, warm and durable, today's vinyl is a far cry from the 1970s. It echoed the timber mood, softening the stone and concrete.
In the middle of my pain, I reach down far, calling out your name.
Glass was lifted into place, held by brackets installed prior. A near-invisible barrier now framed the balcony, merging safety with clarity.
I sought and found you, like a fire in the deepest part. I will hold on to you, no matter what comes.
Tempered safety glass slotted into the small brackets mounted onto the floor and walls. Once secure, handles and accessories will be added to it. Silicone was used to seal the seams neatly. Composite skirtings were installed to withstand water and movement. Matted corners, hidden fixings, the final edge between wall and floor was sealed.
High on the mountain, blinded by the rain.
Switchgear and plugs are aligned with the wall boxes. Every plug is tested thereafter. A charcoal matte finish was chosen for continuity with the theme of the home. Internal wooden doors are more than just dividers. They frame movement, hold silence, and define privacy within a home. The doors are trimmed and scuffed to the correct sizes. Hinges are carefully marked, mortised and fixed to both the frame and the door.
No matter what comes, no night can last forever, no storm will tear us apart. I will hold on to you, no matter what comes.
Engineered quartz slabs were laid onto the kitchen and vanity units. They are 20 mm thick with rounded edges. A vertical extension of the countertop. The backsplash protects and defines. We chose a herringbone pattern in muted tones, blending with the kitchen doors. A large platform tile was used in the scullery for easier cleaning. Toilets, mixers and bathtubs are all installed with levels and silicone seals. Designed then welded, the pedestrian gates merge security and simplistic beauty. This final barrier marked the transition from public to private, the last crafted threshold. LEDs, pendants, downlights. The choreography of light came alive. Every light was positioned to enhance form and shadow. The selection of lights continued the theme of modern minimalism. The light that gave us the biggest challenge was the double volume lights. The high ceilings meant constructing scaffolding to install them. Gas fitters laid lines with regulators and shut-off valves. Safety tests followed. The fireplace and the stove were installed. The pumps buzzed to life. The jets fired and there were no leaks. Water, the final element, was returned to complete the large pool. We began with a bitumen-based surfacing, a durable foundation layer designed to withstand heat, pressure, and play. Finally, the court lines were painted, measured to precision, sharp and clean, defining the boundaries of every serve, every step, and every shot. In the end, what began as raw ground transformed into a playable canvas. Every surface was wiped, every window shined. This wasn't just cleaning, it was a punctuation of the building process. It began as a sketch, lines on paper, scattered hopes, but now it stands, timeless and still. A minimalist modern farmhouse, forged through chaos and craft. Behind every wall is a solid foundation. Beneath every slab, a decision that shaped the future. The homestead is not just built, it's revealed, carefully, quietly, and uncompromisingly. A huge thanks to Fauve Atelier, who brought soul into the space through natural palettes, soft textures, and clean design. Thank you to Mokonyane Property Group, the hands that shape the earth and raise the structure with unwavering precision. For the finished home tour, click here.